If there's anything I dislike a lot in modern video games, it's how the people who've been there for a while are either so passive when it comes to defending the good parts of games, while the game developers do everything in their power to argue and then downplay the importance of what the players mean to the overall ecosystem. Every time something doesn't go as planned, the narrative gets controlled. It's to shape the perception of what people will think about any other game. That includes movies and shows too, and then when the numbers start looking bad to them, just distract them. Make sure people are not focused on the prize until, the next update. Just keep them busy till the next roadmap releases. Just keep promising that things will get better so that the reality underneath can always stay hidden. But when that strategy starts falling apart, like it is right now, we're seeing something that the industry can't spin the way that they want, because the data's not cooperating with them anymore. The player counts are dipping on any game, you name it, whichever, engagement shrinks, and the financial results come in and they start looking dire. But if you don't play the games and don't consume the slop, you need to shut your mouth. That is according to Jeff Kaplan. In case you don't know who this guy is, Jeff Kaplan was the head of Overwatch for a really long time. He worked at Blizzard for years. Helped make a lot of great games actually, and eventually one day mysteriously left behind Blizzard, Overwatch, all of it, and he disappeared. Nobody knew for a while. Why did he leave? Why would you go away from the golden goose like he did? Eventually, Jeff Kaplan had an interview with Lex Friedman. Pretty sure I can't show it, otherwise copyright I'm guessing, but I'll paraphrase it instead. Essentially, Jeff admitted the reason why he left Blizzard was because Overwatch's eventual failure and downturn was being blamed on him by a chief creative officer at Blizzard, or CCO for short. As seen here from Polygon, Jeff called it the biggest FU moment of his career. Basically, this CCO blamed Jeff and said that if he didn't turn Overwatch around and make X amount of millions of dollars every single year, which by the way was losing resources due to how heavily they were investing into esports at the time, that thousands of jobs would then be lost at Blizzard and that the blame would be on Jeff's shoulders. So he left Blizzard so that this CCO couldn't blame him for anything that happened, and eventually Jeff founded his own indie studio, and he's now making a game called The Legend of California. This is that new game, by the way. It's a first-person survival open world game with a cowboy theme. Looks fine to me. Probably will find an audience. However, now that you know the lore of this all, this led to this now infamous moment, where Jeff Kaplan decided to just spit on anyone who speaks ill of any which video game, because according to Jeff, if you don't play all the games, your opinion now doesn't matter, and it got a lot of people talking. I'm not going to twist his words, so here, watch the clip where Jeff says what he said. Here, watch.
I never understand being hostile about it or being rude about it, but I understand being upset, and I understand voicing your opinion. But like, if a game comes out and you don't want to play it and you've never played it, shut the f*** up. No one cares. Like, we don't need to hear that you weren't into it. Like, what is with this, oh my god, I'm so upset they decided to make this game that I have no interest in. Like, I'm not running to the internet every time there's like a TV show on. Well, I'm not watching any TV shows either, but like who cares about my opinion if I'm not going to play it? And if I've never played it, like, why does my opinion matter on that? I'll tell you what it does. Like, as a game developer who's been in charge of teams, who has the ability to like do something about it, I just fucking ignore you. That's all you've accomplished, is like, I guess I'm not like gonna listen to you anymore because you're so off the deep end that it's not even worth listening to you at that point. So, I don't know.
Then, like I said, other outlets then caught wind of this, like Kotaku, as seen here, trying to claim it as some rallying cry, which was kind of pathetic. Yep, stick it to the paying customer, Jeff. Tell people who are the lifeblood of your industry staying alive or not to shut their mouths if they speak about games that they have problems with. It's not like they spent their money on it or anything, but as you might have guessed, this did not go over well at all with a lot of people because, well, Jeff, he came off as tone deaf. The rallying cry, he said, wasn't necessarily directed at any one game. game, he could have been talking about Overwatch, Highguard, Marathon. It really doesn't matter. The argument that he proposed was and could be taken against really any which game. The general consensus was pretty much, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Is this toxic positivity rearing its ugly head again? Absolutely. Does it come off as tone deaf in an industry that is ripping itself to shreds by developers hating the paying customers time and time again? Also, absolutely. And is what Jeff said the wrong thing to say? Yep, absolutely. You see, I know where Jeff is coming from, but here's the thing, right? Most people do actually play the games that they have opinions on too. Overwatch, for example, was dying. People had opinions on that game that played it, but since nothing they said was good, Jeff would then ignore it, obviously, and believe that in his own words that they needed to shut up, which doesn't really help anyone. Same goes with Highguard. Over 2 million people tried that game based on the data that was released, and generally speaking, players went, yeah, no, this isn't it. This then led to Cope articles like this one from GameSpot, where the Highguard boss said the player counts don't matter for the then Siege shooter. Now, as we all know, the game is dead and offline. So, yeah, that was obviously not true at all. Now, was it? At the core of what Jeff said, he was saying, who cares what people are saying, just tune it out. And on the surface, you may understand that frustration. Developers deal with constant criticism. I know, communities can be loud and reactionary, and yes, at times may be unreasonable. But here's the problem with this. That mindset completely also misses what's actually happening right now. Because what keeps happening with every game that does fail, that angers their player bases and more, isn't just noise or some random outrage. No, you see what it really is. It's a pattern. Across the entire AAA space, we see the same signals repeat themselves. Game launches with massive promise, ends up losing momentum, it starts to falter, and the studios that invest millions then start to panic. The response is always the same too. It's not a problem, stop pointing it out, it's really not that big of a deal, just release the content, distract them. Keep attempting to pull more people so that you can offset those that are leaving. But then at its core, the underlying issues never really get addressed, because the issue isn't really the content itself. It's the design philosophy that drives everything that is actually flawed. The structure of these sorts of games, the marathons and the Overwatches, it's really all the same. Promises of brighter days and all that. But people then start to notice the loops, and then they either leave or they stay with the game. Many games then die, like your Concords or your Highguards, while the smaller indie games usually thrive because they focus on clearer game design and a respect for your time to not waste it like a lot of online games do. This is all being exposed all of the time. It can't be controlled by people like Jeff Kaplan or really anyone else. And no amount of PR fixing can really truly repair the brokenness of why people always walk away. So people then voice their opinions. What else do they have? Yeah, I thought Highguard was mid, but did you play it? Yeah, I did, and it's mid. Well, then you're just a hater. Okay, how is Highguard going right now? The same goes for Marathon too. A lot of us tried a Marathon during the Server Slam. You got access to Marathon for multiple hours to try it for free. The game was set to release the week after that Server Slam, obviously. So naturally, what you played during that free weekend was in turn what Marathon would be if you decided to buy it day one. So then, a lot of people tried the game. They did not buy it because, again, they tried it like I did. It went, yep, it's not for me. It's not to say what I played at Marathon was terrible, but I've seen it before. I've played this before. I didn't see or play anything when I did play Marathon that told me, oh yeah, I need to come back to this more. No, the opposite actually. Instead, I tried it, went, yep, this isn't it. They didn't learn anything from what people didn't like about Destiny, and I left and went and played Resident Evil and Monster Hunter Stories instead. But now, I'm evil alongside many others. Because why exactly? We gave a game a chance that these types tell us we need to give them so that we do. They still don't impress us, so now we leave and go, yeah, it's mid. And now we're the ones that's toxic. That's how this works now. This is what I'm saying. It's like the only form of speech they want out there is resounding positivity and nothing else. If you say, yeah, I don't like how Marathon wipes your account every season, you're a chud now. When I tried Highguard and said, yeah, I'm not feeling its barely non-existent reward structure, I mean, your profile doesn't even level up, people got mad. Okay, well, I tried it, you told me that I had to try it, so what do you want me to say? It looks good? I'm not gonna lie about it, why would I do that? I have to be honest about what I'm playing. I tried High Guard. I tried Marathon. I thought they were either mid or not very good at all, and the same with Concord too. And the only reason apparently my opinion might not matter on Marathon is cause why exactly? I didn't buy the game at the price they demanded? Oh, so since I didn't give Bungie my money for the game that I didn't like that I played during the free beta, my opinion now on it doesn't matter. I see what you're trying to do, but no, I'm not going to give you money if I didn't like what I tried when it was free. You can get mad about it all you want. You need to convince me to spend my money on your game, not the other way around. This brings me back to Jeffy Boy and his comments on how if you have nothing nice to say, then don't say it. Because what this tells people is you should just ignore any and all criticism, because that's worked in the past. But that only works if you believe that the ignoring of said criticism is when you only think it is wrong. But what if it wasn't? What if the frustration that people have with any which game are actually expressing and pointing out a deeper issue? What if the reason people keep coming back to the same complaints regardless of the game, right? Be it Marathon, High Guard, Concord, Dustborn, Veilguard, Ex Voto, my god, you name it, is probably because the problems with these games are never really being solved in the first place. It's a question that AAA and then some have been forced to confront that they really don't want to because it's not really easy for them to answer. Because acknowledging it means admitting something far bigger than a single failed game launch. It means instead that you might have to admit that actually the entire approach to modern game design across the board just might be fundamentally flawed. That chasing the things that these people chase, the metrics, right, over the meaningful design, the battle passes, or hell, the ugly character designs, whatever it may be, that building these games on the same ideas and foundations obviously are going to lead to the same problems. And now that players are comfortable enough, where they finally have a voice and they can speak, they are walking away. They have their own agency. And that is the problem that Jeff Kaplan and others have with it. Because they're not really used to you having your own opinion on things, right? They only care if your opinion aligns with what they want to see. Which means we're reaching a point where the gap between the customer and developer is just growing bigger and bigger every single day. And then instead of confronting this problem head on like they should be, they're choosing to ignore it. Just downplay it instead. No, they're wrong. They didn't play the game. Wait, what? They did play the game? Did they like it? They didn't? Okay, well then their opinion doesn't matter then because it wasn't positive. You see what I mean? How are games meant to heal when the people who make things are just being tone deaf on purpose like this? This is not some one-time dip of gameplay or whatever, right? Like, it is a pattern. Can we be real? There's a reason why people looked at a Marathon and went, oh, it's kind of like Concord again. It's not to say that Marathon is as bad as Concord. It's instead that people call it Concord because everything that looks or does what Concord does, right? The bright lights, the weird designs. The soulless sort of run-of-the-mill gameplay, the same engagement loops and more, right? It reminds them of Concord, and that's valid. It's the same way you will look at a game that does what Dark Souls does, and you go, oh, it's a Souls-like. It's not really like a bad thing, it's just that at this point, like, Concord has become its own genre. There are games now that are just considered Concord-likes. People may not like to hear that, but your mission as a game developer is probably to ensure that your game is not seen as a Concord-like, and if it is, surprise, you made a Concord. But if all these people want to do is ignore the criticism, which is valid by the way, people played High Guard and went, yeah, we'll give it a chance, but it doesn't have an engaging gameplay loop. There's too much downtime. There's not enough shooting in a game that's a shooter apparently. Nope, that's just bad criticism, guys. Didn't you get the memo? What you should have said is that you liked mining for blue crystals. And you should have said, yes, I love running aimlessly for a full minute before a fight even happens in my online shooter game. But that isn't fun. Well, if you can't be positive, then your opinion doesn't matter now, does it? Same with Marathon. People did try it. They gave it an honest try. People were excited for it. Hell, I was excited for it myself, I have to admit. I mean, a new game from Bungie, I think the art design is cool at times. Not all of it maybe, but some of it at least looks cool. And I gave it a chance, didn't I? I gave it my time during that free weekend. I spent my time playing the free beta. I tried it. I tried multiple shells. I saw the gameplay loop on offer. I saw the mission structure. Go click the button, collect the thing, shoot this enemy type X amount of times. And I realized in that moment very quickly, oh, it's just Another one of those games. The kind of game I grew tired of already. I played Destiny 1 and 2 a lot. I know those games. I platinumed them. I did the raids. I know the loop of bounties and weekly bounties and dailies and all of the stuff that these sort of games do, right? So I played Marathon, gave it a try. It's the same thing. And now I'm only in patrol zones now. But I guess other players can shoot me. And if they do, I lose my guns. Okay, cool. That doesn't sound very fun to me, and it wasn't. And that's valid. It's my opinion. So it's like Arc Raiders in that sense, but it's in first person, but it has more of an emphasis on PvP over PvE. Okay, cool. I'm not really crazy about PvP games myself anymore. I don't really care about chasing my KD or making sure I get multiple clips of myself doing headshots or filling out the battle pass or whatever else. I mean, maybe I would if I was like 13 years old, but I'm 33 now. I guess I just kind of want more things that feel more meaningful, you know? I want the games that I play to just make me feel something. Give me something that I look forward to. Resident Evil does that. Every time I beat a Resident Evil game, I get a new gun I get to play with and stuff that changes how things work. Monster Hunter does that too. Mass Effect does that for me too, because I can play new classes and stuff and have fun, and the characters are interesting and all that. But Marathon's like, whatever it is. Like, in my opinion, it's invalidated now, even though, I played thousands of hours of Destiny. It's not, my opinion's not right because I don't like the game. Is it only invalidated because I thought when I played a Marathon to kind of just be the exact kind of game I no longer really care for and don't really want to play myself? So in my opinion is now invalid despite me playing it. I thought you guys told me I had to play it, so I played it, and now that I did that, I don't like it, so now it's not valid. Is that what we're doing now, Jeff Kaplan? Really? Again, this guy's making Legend of California. Game looks fine, I guess. I don't have a problem with it, but Jeff should know more than anyone that he needs people to be interested in his game. And when you go out on a live stream of your new game, by the way, from your indie studio that needs to do well, otherwise people will lose their jobs, kind of like the exact reason why you left Blizzard in the first place, Jeff, need I remind you? And your instinct was instead to get smug online and say, if you have nothing nice to say, then screw you, because your opinion doesn't matter to me. It doesn't make me want to check out your California game, Jeff. I got to admit, because the vibe I'm getting from you right now is that this guy thinks that he can't fail, that he's like entitled to his success or something. That's kind of sad to see. Look, I don't hate Jeff Kaplan. I don't want to fight him in a fist fight, although that would be funny, but I just kind of find his attitude here to be disappointing to say the least. Like, you need players to populate Legend of California. Duh, I know. Why attack these potential customers? And then just blanket them all and tell them, actually, if you have nothing nice to say about my game or others, your opinion is invalid. Cool. Remind me again, Jeff, how your new studio's gonna survive then if you're being openly hostile to the paying customer like this. It just kind of feels like a lose-lose situation to me. It doesn't really make any sense. Sure, the industry journalists will love Jeff's comments because they also hate the players too. But that's because places like Kotaku and then some have completely lost the plot a long time ago. They lost the majority of their readers and the respect of their own industry a while back already. Because in case everyone doesn't know this already, Kotaku, for example, they're ran by actual morons. Who are we kidding? And we've seen this happen time and time again. The industry, hypes up a game. Kotaku loves Highguard even. I'm not even kidding. Like, look at this article and it's titled, I fell in love with Highguard and now it's gone forever. Rip to a real one. That is a real article, and look how they opened this up too. Highguard looked bland. Highguard sounded bland. After my first 30 minutes with it, I still wasn't convinced it didn't feel bland, but I stuck with it. I played a couple dozen hours with friends. I fell in love with it. I'm going to miss it. That is really weird. So you admit right away that the game didn't look good and it was uninspired and it sounded boring, but you liked it despite that. What are we doing? This is what I'm talking about right here. Like, it's toxic positivity. They even admit in their own words, by their own will, like they wrote the reasons why the things fail. Then they sit there confused and bewildered wondering, where did it all go wrong? This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why the bad decisions keep getting made. Like, look at this again, right? Same article, they then said this. The thing that turned some players off about the game were precisely what kept me sticking around. Highguard is slow to play, confusing to understand, and broadly speaking, pretty devoid of swagger. Good lord, dude, what are we doing? No, seriously, like, come on, honestly, how are the people tasked with running these websites so easy to understand the problems, yet also simultaneously unable to grasp the reasons why things keep happening like this? These people genuinely sound like they have brain damage. Like, honestly, sure, the game sucked and it was slow and terrible, but I liked it. Okay. Thanks for explaining why nobody liked it and why it deserved to fail, Kotaku, but I guess this is a sort of article that, like, Jeff Kaplan would love to see, because it's positive about Highguard, even though it's ultimately about the game dying outright, but don't tell him that. Like, is this where we're at right now? Let's just avoid every every problem and call to reason and instead just sit dazed and confused when the same exact thing keeps happening time and time again while not addressing the problem at hand? Like Jeff Kaplan's claims that you don't deserve to speak on a game unless you've given all your money and time to it is just ridiculous. Like, Jeff, that's what marketing is for. It's up to the marketing department to convince people to spend their time and money. Highguard's own developers admitted that their marketing screwed up when it came to Marathon. Bungie believed that their name alone would be able to sell the game. But they forgot that they've been spitting on their players for so long with like broken promises when it came to Destiny. The people became rightfully apathetic to Bungie because they failed their players so many times. And now we're the problem. Oh, my bad. I didn't realize I worked at Bungie. Did I miss my shift? Crap. I forgot. I was supposed to work on the marketing of Bungie's new shooter game, apparently. There was even some devs claiming actually a lot of Halo devs worked on Marathon 2. Like that means anything anymore? Like, what's next? You're going to tell me that the same janitor who's been there since Halo 1 is there too? Okay, just because you have people there that have worked on things before doesn't mean that the new thing will be better. You need to prove yourself every single time that it's worth a damn. The reality is we need things we don't want to see more of to fail so that the incentive to make those things stop happening. Like, I'm sick of Battle Royale games, right? I'm sick of hero shooters for the most part, so when I see a new game get announced, I go, okay, it's that thing that I'm tired of, but I'll give it a chance. What makes this one different from the other ones that failed? And then if nothing new is presented that is compelling, alrighty then, see you later then, no thanks, I'm good. Then you have Ethan Gack, the same guy who wrote that article unironically about how he loved Highguard while admitting that it was terrible, had this to say about Jeff Kaplan's comments. Let's read this now. Toxicity in gaming used to be predominantly be passionate fans taking stuff way too seriously far. Now it's mostly grifters with no real skin in the game who spend all day searching for unrelated stuff to get mad about. No, Ethan, you missed the point like you always do, but who are we kidding? You work at Kotaku, so it makes sense for that to happen, so it's okay. It's almost as if Ethan and his ilk seem to forget why this all happened in the first place. This also comes from a place of passion, by the way. They also conveniently forget how companies have treated their player bases for so long too, with slop after slop release filled with all the bugs and the gross monetization and the ugly character designs. They forgot about the whole DEI push when it was convenient to them and how these types claimed that anyone who was against Veilguard and such were Yahtzees because of it too. These people are gaslighters. They are mad that people voted with their wallets and went, no, we're not doing this anymore. The fact that Marathon didn't explode with players is only a surprise to people who never understood the active player base in the first place. But to anyone with a functioning brain, they likely tried Marathon during the public test and went, yep, no thanks, I'm good. And that's the thing, right? The funniest part about all of this is how there is no counter to what the player base does. These people can jump through all the hoops, attack you all they want. They can spit on you, they can twerk in front of you, they can call you babies, call you misinformed, say anything they want, right? And all you have to do to counter any argument they have, opinion, or take from them is to simply just do nothing at all. You're just an insert whatever insult here. That's why you don't like Concord 2, 3, 4. Cool, I won't buy your game. There is literally nothing that you can do to make me buy your game or engage with it, to buy a microtransaction. There is nothing. Nothing can be done. You cannot do anything in all of your power to convince me that I need to open my wallet to support you anymore. There's no loophole. There's nothing you can do. You have no power over me anymore. You can't win because the players are the ones who actually control the fate of everything in the end anyways, and that pisses you off so much. I can't even speak anymore. You want to belittle the players? Cool, I guess you can go and do that if you want to. You can call us more names. I mean, we can take it. I mean, you guys can't, but we can because we're used to it at this point. We are just told to take it anyways. You can call me a grifter. You can call me a chud. Whatever makes you feel better in the end. I just don't need to buy your game. And without my money and others like me, you're all going to die eventually anyways. Uh-oh. Until the same process repeats ad nauseum where you open a new studio, you make another game and ultimately claim that we're wrong unless we shower you in praise. Because you think you deserve things that you didn't work for apparently. We're all just going to stand at the shoreline smiling and waving while laughing hysterically while you guys sink for the 7th or 2nd time. Who's keeping count these days, right? Who cares? You see, these people think they are entitled to your time, money, and engagement, but they really aren't. Jeff Kaplan went from like being this industry darling to kind of an annoying old guy yelling at the cloud with a chip on his shoulder in record time, and that's on him. I didn't tell him to attack the paying customer. He did that. Again, I don't hate Jeff. Hopefully he can realize he said some really stupid things and turn it around for his California game, but what he said here, this is just another AAA developer masking himself as an indie developer who feels like that he's entitled to his success and your money because he believes that no matter what, and that's sad to see. It's not surprising, but it is sad. Unfortunately, there are other creators in this space who are also very passive that actually will not speak up for players these days either, but at least I'll just say it how it is. I think we need more failures in video games. I gotta be honest. We need every game that feels like that it can attack the people who keep this industry alive to fail, because every corpse that ends up littering the beach is just another stark example that no matter what these people in the games industry think of any of us, that we hold the power. They don't. So go ahead. Go. I dare you. Call us more names. Tell us what we should believe. Maybe yell at us a little bit more. Go make Concord 8 or 9 while you're at it. Because at this point, what's one more corpse on the beach, right? The crows need to be fed on something after all, so might as well donate your next failure to the feast if all you're going to do is keep making things that nobody wants while trying to act like you're better than us. We'll see who's standing in the end. Will it be the games that nobody wants to play or the players with their massive backlogs, who frankly, by the way, don't need to buy another game for years really, which should probably terrify you guys, because why buy your big shiny new game when I can play all these other games for cheaper that are more complete, aren't terrible, thinly disguised lectures like your new slop usually is. So go, enjoy whatever game it is that you want to push on me. No thanks, I'm good. But there's nothing you can do to make me support you either way. And I really want you to know that deep in your soul. You can't survive without us. We don't work for you. It's the other way around. So either make what we want or enjoy your failure. Doesn't matter to me anyways, because the East is killing you Western game developers and your games after game anyways all the time. So we really don't need the slop that you guys make anyways. I mean, Crimson Desert's almost here. That's going to be like 100, maybe 200 hour game. I can't wait for it to cope when that game drops. And also, by the way, Crimson Desert, made by South Koreans, not Westerns. Oh, who could have guessed? I can't wait to be proven right again. But what do you think? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to. And remember, you're the ones in power. Don't ever let them tell you otherwise, no matter how much they gaslight you. They can't win this. Just play your backlog, fellas. It'll infuriate them to no end. And we're just going to force the change we want to see one way or another. And it's going to be so glorious.